Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Johan and I'm a Dutchie, and I'm learning about life and living in Australia, and doing that by watching and reacting to videos about life and living in Australia, because I can't get there, but I'm afraid of flying, so it won't be that easy to get over to Australia. So looking to videos is my way about learning about life in Australia, and I have a lot of subscribers that react also to. So it's amazing how the community is growing, and I get all kinds of stories about how it really is life and living in Australia. And for today, we're going to take a look at the top 10 reasons not to move to Australia. Okay. This should be interesting. I want to know if there are really good reasons not to, or if these are reasons that more or less doesn't fit anyone's expectations of living in Australia. Let's say they have different opinion about what is good and what isn't good. So let's take a look about how these 10 reasons not to move to Australia really are.
G'day mates, how you going? Cause today we're talking about the land down under, Australia. Is it a country? Is it a continent? Do kangaroos really just roam freely about? Sounds like fake news to me. But it's not. The world's 6th largest country is a giant 3 million square mile island continent stuck between the Indian and Pacific Oceans. And this strange geographic location is what makes Australia such an ecological and biological anomaly with so much diverse nature and wildlife unique only to the country.
I need to do a video about that. The wildlife of Australia. I haven't done it yet, but there's so much I want to see about Australia. We're just starting the channel, so...
Tasmania to the stunning beaches to the outback rainforests and Great Barrier Reef, there is...
Every time I see...
Australia such an ecological and biological country. From Tasmania to the stunning beaches to the outback...
Every time I see this mountain, I've seen it a lot in the last videos, I have to think this is a Table Mountain in South Africa, in the neighborhood of Johannesburg, because I cycled there. No, I cycled there virtual, not for real. So it looks like it's a Table Mountain, but it isn't. It is not a Table Mountain, but I see it in every video about how good and how nice Australia is, the nature. You see a screenshot of this.
Rainforests and Great Barrier Reef, there is so much natural beauty to be found here. But not only is the nature stunning, Australia is also home to a few highly advanced cosmopolitan cities, with the two biggest cities, Sydney and Melbourne, routinely ranking among the top 5 best cities to live in the world.
Okay, so top 5 best cities to live in the world. So what's not to like about it?
Speaking of which, let's hit 5,000 likes and I'll do a video on the top 10 best cities to live in the world.
Oh yeah, give me 5,000 likes.
Anyways, it isn't hard to see why the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples have lived here for over 60,000 years. Of course, the British also did their imperialist thing and claimed the continent in 1788 as a penal colony for their convicts, but Australia eventually gained independence in 1901, and since then...
Only in... Oh, nice lady. Only in 1901. Only in 1901 they gained independence. So they're not... Wow. We're talking about this year in the United States, about 250 years of United States as being a very young country. But Australia is only from 1900 and 1901. So there are 125
The land down under has become a country with one of the highest qualities of life, a great healthcare and education system, incredibly low crime, vibrant and welcoming residents, and an excellent economy with hardly any poverty. Nonetheless,
So, sounds all good to me.
only 25.5 million people actually live here, and less than 100,000 of those are US expats. Wait, there must be a reason only 1 to 4,000
US expats? Did he say 100,000 of them?
100,000 of those, 25.5 million people actually live here, and less than 100,000 of those are US expats.
Oh, less than 100,000. Okay, so a lot of people move to Australia from all kinds of directions, from Europe, from United States, from Canada, from Indonesia, I don't know, from Asia, from all over. They went to Australia, and they only mentioned that there are less than 100,000 American expats.
Wait, there must be a reason only 1 to 4,000 new Americans immigrate here each year, right? Well, maybe you'll find out in my top 10 reasons not to move to Australia.
Wow, okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna expect a lot of comments on this video, knowing the comments that I've seen when it is about Australia. It's not particularly positive.
Number 10. It gets hot. Contrary to popular belief, most of Australia isn't all perfect year-round temperatures. Well, unless you're in Sydney or Perth, but
Same video. I get the impression that this is the same video scenes that I saw earlier. Last week I did a video about, I believe, the 10 best cities to live in Australia. And I saw the same magnificent bridge coming on. So more and more I get the feeling that this is AI voiceover, and not there's a real scenes, but AI voiceover.
even those get some bad days each year. And although a few cities on the southern coast and Tasmania actually get hit by really cold fronts coming up from Antarctica, the real issue in most of Australia is the heat. There is a reason nearly 90% of Australians live within 50 kilometers of the coast. The heat makes the rest of the country basically unlivable, especially in the outback where temperatures can reach 50 degrees Celsius. That's 122 Fahrenheit. Heck, it gets so hot in the desert here that the opal miners back in the day ended up building an underground settlement called Cooper Pedy to protect them from the heat. It's pretty cool, actually. And
Yeah, it's really also a good idea because it keeps you warm in the cold days and cool in the warm days.
even though the cooling effects of the ocean make the coastal areas more livable, most of the cities will still get days above 40 degrees Celsius during the summer. Add in some of the most
Yeah, we have this in Europe too. Sorry, I'm bashing too much.
beautiful beaches in the world with tons of sunny days to enjoy, and the fact that you're pretty darn close to the equator, and it isn't hard to see why 2/3 of Australians are diagnosed with skin cancer by the age of 70. Oh, and I'd be remiss to not talk about that other thing the heat and sun cause as well. Bushfires. You've probably already heard about the wildfires that have decimated 46 million acres and killed 451 people this past year alone. But sadly, it's not the first, and it definitely won't be the last.
Yeah, and I've not seen videos about it, but I guess it is true. Yeah.
Number 9. It's isolated. You might have wondered why so many Australians have left their beautiful homeland that seems a lot like paradise to most Americans. But the reality is that many
Okay. We're looking at Australia and 10 reasons not to move to Australia from the viewing point for a American. Okay, that's a different different point of view with different expectations. Okay.
many Aussies feel trapped, lonely, and isolated from the rest of the world. And while you
They feel trapped and lonely and isolated from the rest of the world.
You may think that's silly.
Yeah, that's silly. I saw this. This is a kangaroo. Now I know it's Australian because not long ago, last week, I was doing a walk nearby and I saw an airplane leaving from an airfield, a military base, in U.S. military base, just right over the border here in Germany. And I saw, I think, hey, this is an Australian plane leaving. And I think, what the heck? But yeah, Australia.
Since you can just hop on a plane and fly to a nearby country like Indonesia or Singapore, it actually isn't so simple. Most Australians live in the southeastern part of the country, so a flight to anywhere other than New Zealand means crossing the giant continent of Australia and then some, or just the entire Pacific Ocean. Basically, even those close countries end up being anywhere from a 6 to 10 hour flight away. It's at least a 14-hour flight if you're going to the US, and you should expect to spend
14-hour flight to the US. Why do the US people, most Americans, never leave America? Because America has everything. So from nature, from nice cities, from parks, so the question is first, why as an Australian, would you like to leave Australia when Australia has so much beauty on its island/continent? Because it has. So there's almost no need to leave Australia to get some holiday on a different continent when everything is almost possible on the continent itself. So, typical American, it's all about us. Everybody wants to go to the United States.
Over 24 hours in airplanes and airports if you want to visit anywhere in Europe. And before you comment, so what if other countries are far away? Australia's huge. Just explore that. Well,
okay, that's what I said.
Well, the thing about that is that Australia isn't just isolated from other countries. The cities here are actually really isolated from each other. The land down under is the third least densely populated country in the world, with just 3 people per square kilometer. And it only has 5 real cities with metro populations over 1 million residents. So, as I'm sure you can guess, the population centers are very spread out, and most of Australia is very remote.
And Australia is only 125 years old. 100 because of 2026. So I don't know how long it took for America to get all those big cities. And as far as I know, the biggest cities in the United States are also on the coastline on each side. I believe only the big city as Chicago, and then we're talking about Dallas in Texas. That's the biggest cities inland, but it took a lot of years to get there. So it's a young continent. Give them a time. They're doing a lot of good work connecting all those cities.
For example, the 2 closest big cities would be Sydney and Melbourne, but they're still an 8.5-hour drive apart. Melbourne to Brisbane's an 18-hour drive, Adelaide to Darwin's a 31-hour drive, and
yeah, that could be nice.
Sydney to Perth.
I'm interrupting too much. I don't like the video. Even without Australians reacting to this video, what I'm reacting to it, it's not correct. Even I know that a lot of these things are not the correct way. You can have a beautiful drive.
Perth is a 41-hour non-stop trek with pretty much nothing in between. Number 8. Time zones. Speaking of isolation, Australia isn't just physically isolated from other countries. You're also going to have trouble keeping in touch with your family or friends back home unless they live somewhere in Asia.
back home. What is so? This is really. It sounds more and more to me that this is a propaganda video to prevent that Americans leave America and going to down under Australia. So we make it as unattractive as possible so that people won't leave the United States. That's what it sounds like.
Australia is an entire Pacific Ocean away from the US and 2 continents length away from Europe, so the time zones are practically exact opposites. Now,
yeah, but only 3 time zones. I believe America has the 5 time zones.
Australia has 3 main time zones, but for the sake of just showing how different the times are, when it's 7 a.m. in Sydney, it's 10 p.m. in London, and when it's 6 a.m. in Perth, it'd be 6 p.m. in New York. I get that this is just more of an inconvenience than a huge deal, but it can get pretty tedious trying to schedule a call with your international family and friends.
Wow.
Number 7. The internet sucks. If you finally do manage to get a hold of your family and friends, time zones might not be the only thing that get in the way. Because even if you schedule that Zoom call perfectly, the internet might just randomly cut out or start lagging, and by the time it's fixed, it's probably the other person's bedtime. Sure, the United States isn't anywhere near the best when it comes to internet speed.
Not even close to the internet in Europe. So they may have invented it, but they don't have the best internet.
Speeds compared to most developed countries, but it's light speed compared to Australia, which is only ranked as the 43rd best country for internet. And no, I don't just mean that on average it has relatively slow download and upload speeds. I mean the most expensive plans still disconnect or lag frequently, and a lot of the plans actually have data caps. Who does that anymore? A 200
we in Europe, we have data caps.
per gigabyte a month plan in Brisbane with download speeds only up to 12 megabits per second will cost you $65 a month. And don't even think about going over, or you'll have to pay an outrageous fee, and your internet speeds will slow down to 256 kilobytes per second. What developed nation has any internet speeds under 1 megabit per second? That's just
The United States.
it's ridiculous. Number 6, everything wants to kill you. If the frustratingly slow internet speeds are enough to make you want to go on a digital cleanse and take a camping trip out in the wilderness, well, don't, because literally everything here is trying to kill you. Yeah, Australia's home to box jellyfish, stonefish, tons of poisonous snakes and spiders, blue-ringed octopuses, stingrays, sharks, and the largest saltwater crocodiles in the world. Wait, did you think I was done? No, I'm just getting started. Because kangaroos, dingoes, cassowaries, emus, cone shells, and drop bears can all pose serious threats. Okay, well, maybe
A koala can pose a serious threat. Come on, guys.
not the drop bears since they don't actually exist, but the rest of those animals have all taken human lives. Australia just isn't a place where you can spontaneously go for a hike or swim without being very cautious of your surroundings at all times. Heck, there's a story of a man being snatched out of his boat in a river by a giant crocodile while he was just going fishing with his family. Although don't get too worried, because you're actually more likely to die by falling off a horse than from one of the deadly critters here. Just be careful and respect the animals whose homes you're visiting.
Oh, that's the first good thing I hear. Have respect for the animals. Yeah.
Except for kangaroos. Well, you might think they're so cute and cuddly. They can be vicious, and many Australians actually see them as pests. The only reason the country hasn't declared war on them yet is because the kangaroos outnumber Australia.
Wasn't that a wallaby and not a kangaroo? As far as I know, wallabies are the smaller versions of a kangaroo.
Australians 2-1, and the Aussies don't want a repeat of what happened in the Great Emu War of 1932. Spoiler
Yeah. I guess this is made up.
alert, the emus won. Number 5, bad drivers. While many Aussies try to...
Bad drivers? As an argument? from an American point of view. Oh, sorry. Oh boy.
To blame the kangaroo and their lack of road sense as the reason for so many car accidents. Only 7,992 kangaroo collisions actually occurred in 2019, which was less than 5% of the total automobile accidents in Australia. So maybe the drivers should start taking a little more responsibility. Now, of course, every town, city, state, and country is going to have its fair share of bad drivers, but the drivers in Australia are really some of the worst in the world, and I'm not just saying this as some American trying to diss Australia, because I love Australia, and even people from Australia will admit that the drivers here are terrible. In fact, Aussies actually upload more videos of illegal and bad road behavior than any other country.
I want to check this, if this is a fact. Okay, the United States experiences significantly more car accidents and traffic fatalities than Australia. So, fact check. According to data, the US sees approximately 2.4 road fatalities per 100,000, compared to 5.3 per 100,000 Austria. So we're talking more as twice. Something like the calling the cattle black. Oh.
Number 4. It's expensive. Aside from the aforementioned incredibly expensive internet, pretty much everything else here is expensive too. Because
in comparison with, it's expensive. You can only say it's more expensive in comparison with Europe, or in comparison with Indonesia, or in comparison with the US. What is it's expensive?
While Australia is big, it's still an isolated island, so a lot of things have to be shipped over long distances to get here. Of course, the cost of living varies based on location, with it generally being cheaper the farther you get from the coast and major cities, but Australia as a whole is pretty pricey. Granted, it is balanced out by the decent job pay, since Australia actually has the highest after-tax minimum wage of any country, and a top 10 average income at around $64,000 US per person per year. But then again, this also just creates an expensive cycle, since the high minimum wage means high production costs, which means it's cheaper to import goods, but imported goods are expensive, and well, that's just economics. And even though most of the wages are livable, they're not necessarily enough to buy a home, especially in Sydney or Melbourne, where the median home values are 1.15 million and 855,000 Australian dollars respectively. That's nearly 820,000 US dollars for your average home in Sydney.
Yeah, that's, I believe, cheaper than an average house in, let's say, New York or Los Angeles.
Number 3. Places close early. To add on to the fact that things are expensive here, it might be difficult to even buy said things if you're working normal hours, since most shops, stores, and restaurants usually close by the time the sun sets during the week. And if they operate at all on the weekends, they're probably going to have even more limited hours. This one isn't a huge deal once you're used to it and plan accordingly, but it can be a big culture shock if you're coming from the States, where there's an abundance of 24-hour businesses. Now,
yeah, convenience. The convenience lifestyle of the US. That won't work in Australia.
to be fair, a few places do actually stay open later if you're in a big city like Sydney, Brisbane, or Melbourne, but it's hard to buy things past 5 or 6 p.m. pretty much anywhere else.
But I believe that stores are open earlier than every else, let's say, than in Europe. On average, in Europe, the stores goes open but on 8, sometimes 9 a.m. So,
Number 2, poor mental health services. Despite their vivacious exterior, Australians usually keep their feelings to themselves. It's just not normal to talk about personal problems here, and the mental health of the nation is suffering for it. Now, there
that I cannot comment on.
are free care options available for at-risk individuals, but since there's a shortage of psychologists, it's left many other people with no one to talk to about their problems unless they pay a lot of money out of pocket. And even then, many doctors and citizens as a whole aren't well educated in the case of mental health here, so good therapy isn't easy to find. 1 in
I cannot say.
5 Australians between the ages of 16 and 85 have experienced mental health illness, and over 20% of young Australians struggle with depression or anxiety. Maybe the mental health issues here actually contribute to that risk-taking, fearless reputation most Australians have earned themselves, since it's kind of the culture here to just suck up your problems and pretend you're always having a good time. Now, before we get to number 1, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and if you'd want to see more videos about Australia or any other countries in general, let me know in the comments. But without further ado, number 1. The immigration process is very difficult. Well,
Yeah, it's definitely a video to prevent that United States citizens leave the US, especially with the current administration, and heading down under to get and look for a better life.
visiting Australia is as easy as having a valid passport, filling in an online application, and paying a small fee. Becoming a permanent resident is incredibly difficult for US citizens. Now, for young Americans eager to explore the world, Australia does offer a program known as the Working Holiday Visa, which allows you to live in the country for a year or two in exchange for paid work. But if you want to move here permanently, there are a lot of requirements, such as a confirmation of funds, a skill set assessment, proficiency in English, a health exam, no criminal record, and being under the age of 45. For the most part,
Being under the age of 45. That sounds like discrimination based on age. I don't think it. And the other requirement sounds rather usual, normal. Yeah.
you either have to have a lot of money saved up and plan to start a business in Australia, or offer a highly desired skill that no available Australian worker has. So while it's definitely easier to move here than to certain countries in Europe, it's still very difficult for your average American to immigrate here permanently, and that's probably why only 1,000 to 4,000 Americans do it each year.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with that. A plane ticket leaving the United States is already very expensive. And living in the United States is very expensive too. So people have to save up, even if they want to leave. They can't, because they have all the money necessary to survive. Okay. 10 reasons not to move to Australia. I can't wait how the comments gonna be on this video. Oh boy. I don't think that most of those arguments, those reasons, aren't even valid. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh boy, oh boy. Let me know in the comments what you think of this video. And if you're down there, please hit the subscribe button to see more videos about life and living in Australia. And if you want to see other videos about me and talking about life and living in Australia, then this is a good video to start with. And otherwise, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next Australian video. Oh boy.
I'm sure more